Right now in America, people are changing their mindsets on where they want to live. We want to be as far away from each other as we can, which is a big difference from the whole big city lifestyle many of us have grown accustomed to. Americans are making a choice on where to live based on lifestyle. You know, open space, outdoor activities, good schools, and safety. Lots of Americans are now making a fundamental preference on how we want to live instead of where we have to stay based on job location or where our kids are stuck in school. It says a lot about where Americans' heads are right now. We're looking into choosing our own pathways, or at least dreaming about doing so. Now, it's probably going to go without saying that a lot of the places we're going to talk about are going to be safe with good schools and no drama. And I actually selected the good places that aren't too expensive for the most part, because those of us who want to get away from the drama and want a good place to live don't want to spend a lot of money, right? That's just the way it is. Finally, I will say, sorry if you live in the places I'm about to talk about. You might have some company soon. Let's get started. These are the places where you should go. The places where to go. The best cities to live in states if you don't like the drama. There's nothing in these places that'll make you hate life. These are the places where you should just go. We begin our tour of the best cities to live in each state in Alabama. It's going to be alphabetical. This is Valley, Alabama. While many of the cities we're going to go over are kind of rich, Valley is not so much. Moms and dads here bring in about $20K each yearly. But money isn't everything, right? This little city of 10,000 people on the Georgia state line isn't even a bunch of gun-toting rednecks. Not that there's anything wrong with that. You know me. Some people would never live in Alaska. But if you did, Ketchikan's a great choice. This is where all the cruise ships stop. There's more bars, restaurants, and movie theaters than anywhere else in the state, which is big during the long, cold, dark winters. Or if this is your idea of good living in Alaska, then there are endless opportunities for that. In Arizona, Paradise Valley is super amazing, if you can afford it, that is. 14,000 people can, but you need a yearly salary of $175K to buy a home. Just north of Phoenix, this little place has golf courses and fine dining downtown. So fancy, Paradise Valley. Good for you guys. Even Arkansas has some bright spots. Here in Batesville, you can get a home for about $120,000, which is super low. There's a lot to do here, despite being way out in the middle of nowhere. Batesville has art galleries. Who knew rural Arkansas people liked art? I didn't say that. Los Angeles sucks, as does most of LA County, but Little Claremont on the eastern fringes of LA County is great. It's a college town with a cute downtown area and a great involved police force and a school system where the teachers are involved in the community, and the Metrolink stops here, so if you absolutely have to get into downtown LA, it's easy. Legal weed and less drama has sent many hordes of people to Colorado, Denver in particular, but Denver's starting to smell like pee just like LA does. Frederick is a great option for living near Denver. $260K is a steal for Metro Denver. There's over 20 parks in town, which is a big deal to people who like parks. Why do you need 20 parks? But it's getting filled up fast. Frederick has exploded by 32% in the last 5 years alone, everyone. A lot of people in Connecticut are smart and rich. Darien is maybe the richest and smartest of them all. Most people who live here are those who smartly avoid living in New York City, but also have the ability to drive in there in just a short time, if need be. And for a mere $1.3 million, you can live here too. Okay, forget Darien. If you like parks and wildlife and want to be able to reach 2 major cities in 20 minutes, then Middletown, Delaware is a great place. If you like ghettos and crime and terrible schools, then you could live in Wilmington, but you don't want that. No one wants that. Sarasota is a short drive south of Tampa on the Gulf side in Florida. It has really pretty beaches and art and ballet and opera and museums. But don't worry, kids, there's a children's garden too. And all of this for an average home value of $287,000. How is this even possible? Get on that now, people. And Jerry Springer has a home here, apparently. Maybe you'd bump into him at the ballet. I don't know if he likes ballet, but maybe. Now, I've talked about Alpharetta before because it's a great place. The whole northern Atlanta area is where the smart people live because it's super safe and their kids get a solid education. Conversely, if you like to fish and drink beer all day long, then this would be a dream Georgia destination. Anywhere in the general Honolulu vicinity is where you're going to find most of the people because there's a lot to do. There's a little place called Mawanawili that's just north of town that's tucked back into the hillside, just about a mile from the ocean. It'll cost you, though, more than $900,000. But hey, it's tucked into a hillside in Hawaii. What do you expect? No word on if a volcano will wipe this place away one day, though. There really isn't a bad place to live in Idaho, but the best of the best would be Boise for things to do. And if you don't mind a little isolation, Hailey, a town of about 8,000 lucky individuals, is super great. It's in the Wood River Valley in the Rockies, surrounded by public land, forest, skiing, and very low crime. And I am so sorry if you were trying to keep this little gem a secret, but come on. Illinois is pretty much Chicago and small beat-up towns in the middle of cornfields. While Chicago might struggle to satisfy people's interest due to all the taxes and all the drama, you could live in its burbs. In Naperville, you can get a great home for under $400K, even though you'd pay like $15,000 a year in property taxes alone. But you wouldn't have any of this, people, and that says a lot. Jasper is a relatively unknown place in sorta southern Indiana. It ranks super high in schools and safety, and it's great for young families. And talk about cheap, under $150K for peace of mind. And a short drive to Santa Claus. Forget about the fact that Lamar's is just about the most affordable place you can live in the country. Forget about the $130,000 homes and the whole almost safest place you can live in America part. This little city of 10,000 people, a short drive from Sioux Falls, has a Blue Bunny ice cream plant. I bet if you worked here, you get to take home ice cream every day. You know what? Let's call them and find out.
Wells Corporate Center, this is Pierre. How may I help you?
My name is Nick and I'm doing a YouTube video, and I was wondering, if you work at Blue Bunny Ice Cream, do you get to take home ice cream from work every day?
No.
You don't? Oh my goodness. That would be a lot cooler if you did, right?
You're allowed to eat it while you're here, but not to take it home.
Oh, you can eat as much as you want while you're at work?
Yeah, we have free ice cream in the break rooms.
Oh my god. Do people take advantage of that?
Yeah.
I would. I mean, I'd probably wouldn't pack a lunch. I would just eat ice cream all day.
Sometimes, yes. But after a while, it does get you kind of get sick of ice cream.
Lots of people are getting as far away from other Americans as they can these days, and you can't blame them. McPherson, Kansas is just about as far away from the American people as you can get, which is a good thing, and it wins the affordability metric. However, for a sheer lack of boredom, you'd probably want a Kansas City suburb. Leawood has been called the best suburb in the country, as well as the best place to raise kids in the country too. Anywhere in the eastern Louisville suburbs are far and away the best place to live in Kentucky. Don't tell that to this guy though. Many of the Louisville suburbs are expensive and therefore elite. The most sensible is a place called Cherokee Gardens, which ranks as the safest and most kid-friendliest. By sensible, I mean not $500,000 for a home. But do they have a KFC? Because she could really go for some KFC right about now. South of Lafayette is Youngsville, which is one of the few prosperous cities in this struggling state. You get the best of both worlds here, a suburban feel, with the benefits of kind of a big city. There isn't much nightlife here, so you'd have to go to Lafayette for that, but if your kids are into sports, this place has a huge, new 70-acre, multi-million-dollar sports complex. Good for you guys in Youngsville. You could choose from any number of quaint, safe places in Maine to pick as the best. Falmouth stands out because it's, well, safe and quiet, but it's also close enough to Portland that you can actually have some semblance of a life if you lived here. And for $360,000, you can live right on the coast. No brainer. If you want to move to Maryland, go anywhere but Baltimore. Seriously, no joke. As you might have guessed, a Boston suburb is the best place to live in Massachusetts. The community of Woburn on the north side of town ranks as super attractive in all the metrics. It's a bit pricey though, about $450K. Crime is the 5th lowest in the state, and the number of people out of work is basically zero. You can't go wrong with Ann Arbor, Michigan. It's a college town, home to the University of Michigan. There's a river that runs right through it, and there's nature areas and parks and a vibrant economy and low crime and a progressive culture and music and on and on and on, people. Many of the western Minneapolis suburbs are safe and have great schools. You could pick among several such suburbs, but the best and most sensible is Eden Prairie, population 62,000. And it's Minnesota, so it's going to be somewhat affordable at $370,000. It's affluent, but not exclusive.
Did you know that they filmed the movie Mallrats in Eden Prairie?
You know, I never saw that movie, Mappy. I saw Clerks, though. Do you know where they filmed Clerks?
In New Jersey, I think.
If you could pick one place to live in the whole country, where would it be, Mappy?
Probably in Lebanon, Kansas. It's the statistical center of the map of the whole U.S.
Yeah, I can see why you would do that. But your wife would hate it there. But who cares about what she wants, right? Good old Mappy. All right, moving on, we come to the state of Mississippi. 25,000 people here in Madison, Mississippi would likely welcome you with open arms if you moved here or came for a visit. Or not, depending on how your morals are, pal. But 92% of the population here owns their home, which means they're staying, mister. You would never want to live in St. Louis proper, because it's pretty dangerous, except the downtown part, but there are many suburbs here which are stellar. Some are really expensive, but Creve Coeur isn't really that expensive. The high schools here turn out all the brainiacs who likely move on to become successful mommies and daddies. Oh, how sweet. All the residents of Bozeman are going to roll their collective eyes, but hey, it's an awesome place. It's at the foot of the Rockies, where you have everything that comes with the best mountain range in the country. Your home would cost about $500,000 though, and even though it's going to go up by 7% a year, it might be too much for you. There's always this place though. Charming. For only $120,000, you could own a home in the charming city of Norfolk, Nebraska. You'd be about an hour from Omaha and Lincoln if you wanted something fun to do. But look at all these parks where you can play. And there's a community college in town, so your kids could live at home until they're like 25. Reno's great for gambling and dinners and skiing, but it might be too much drama for anyone over the age of 25. However, the Reno suburb of Sparks is just sparkles, people. Look at all those beautiful homes all lined up in a row. Each one is about $373,918. New Hampshire isn't a big state, and its cities aren't very big either. Hanover's one of them. There's 12,000 people in this typical Americana sleepy town. Your kids could go from kindergarten through high school and probably never have their lunch stolen. And there's no nightclubs here either, so they'd have to stay at home with you on Friday nights. Yay! Average price tag, $653,113. Boo! Way down outside of Philadelphia is the leafy little New Jersey suburb of Springdale. Here, you'll get the quality of schools and low crime that comes with the really expensive, snobby places way up outside of New York City. Up there, it's about $760K per house. But down here in southern New Jersey, it's $360K. Booyah! However, for a night out, it's Philadelphia, which is okay as long as you don't make a wrong turn somewhere. Outdoor enthusiasts pay heed. Hiking, biking, skiing, and more is right outside the doorstep of Los Alamos, New Mexico. You'd have to bring in about $100K a year annually as a household to afford Los Alamos, but that's like mommy and daddy both being teachers. That's not so bad, especially in Los Alamos, where the kids would be really nice and sweet and bring you nice handwritten cards every morning. Aww. New York City is struggling in many ways, so you likely wouldn't want to live in that metro region. Shit's all messed up with the crime and lots of stuff's closed down. The biggest cities in upstate are a mess too. Now, way up here in the far corner of the state, as far away from the rest of New York's woes, is a teeny place called Champlain. Move there. Any of the western Raleigh suburbs are stellar. Apex, Cary, and Morrisville each have great schools and a strong sense of community. Cary's kind of filled with a bunch of Northeast snobs by now, but Morrisville's not. From your door, within 20 minutes, you can get to more restaurants, bars, artsy stuff, and parks than you would ever need. And they can't find enough people to fill all the open positions in the region. That means a lot of good jobs, especially if you know how to use a computer. Who doesn't know how to use a computer? Just move to Fargo. Anywhere else is too small town and gossipy. Columbus is the only really decent place to live in Ohio, sadly. So anywhere in the Columbus metro area where you could commute in each morning is likely a good bet. The community of Dublin meets that criteria. People make a lot of money who live here, so no one's going to try to take your Beck CD from the glove box and try to sell it for a rock. Plus, Ohio State University's there, so there's a lot of entertainment downtown. Smack dab in the middle of Oklahoma is the state capital. 10 miles south of that is Newcastle, a cutish place with only 9,000 people and growing really fast. That's because a great home here is only $180,000, and because the community is very involved into making their home better. You can't say that about 99% of the rest of America. A few websites recommended Portland suburbs as great and desirable, but then you'd have to go to Portland, and that's drama. So how about Bend, Oregon? It's got everything Portland has except rioting and a homeless problem, and it's way more affordable too. On the northwest side of Philadelphia are many nice suburbs, but for far less drama and a more affordable lifestyle, State College fits the bill. I mean, look at this cute downtown. It's a lot safer than many of the other places in this state, and it has great schools, and it's a college town, so there's a lot to do. And all this for under $300K. There's a cute place along the Rhode Island coast called Newport where you could raise a family or retire. I read on one well-known website that this community of 25,000 people has the lowest unemployment rate in the country. And there's a bunch of shopping and beaches and seafood. I hear the oysters are the bomb. It's kind of pricey here though, but so what? You only live once. There's a little nook right along a lake in South Carolina, right near the North Carolina border, called Tega Cay. Property right along the lake is probably too much for many of us, but within the community of 8,000 people is a sense of community. There's practically zero crime, and Charlotte isn't too far away, so you could schlep up there and punch the clock if need be. Trivia question, everyone. What's the capital of South Dakota? For those of you who remember stuff from 3rd grade, it's Pierre. And there's only 14,000 people here. It's a state capital. People, what's going on? Here, a lot of people have views of the Missouri River, and there's islands on that river. You can live next to a freaking island? If I told you a house was $150,000, would you believe me? It's true. Nashville is one of the fastest growing cities in America right now, and just a short drive away is a small community called Franklin. The schools are fabulous, and there's community events to get involved in. There's supposedly 200 eateries in this community of 69,000 people, and Garden and Gun magazine called it the best southern town of all. And yes, there's a magazine down south called Garden and Gun magazine. Plano, Texas is a big deal in the Dallas suburbs. It's growing fast, but it's still not too bad, cost-wise. The kids would love it, since there's other kids everywhere, especially if they play sports, because this is a very sports-centric place. And I hear the churches are the bomb diggity too. Can I say that? For people who are fleeing the West Coast cities in droves, Utah has become a destination for many. Outside of the Salt Lake City hub are a bunch of places to pick from. Some are more expensive than others, but most have excellent schools and hardly any crime. Cedar Hills only has 11,000 people. Many of them attend church regularly too. And in the general area are 78 schools to pick from. 78 schools, everyone! We're almost there, people. Bear with me here. South Burlington is just about as good as it gets in New England. Situated along Lake Champlain, there are nearby colleges and plenty of jobs in town. Plus, everyone's smart. Doesn't that count for something? Ever heard of Waynesboro, Virginia? Now you have. There are 20,000 people here north of Charlottesville, which is also a super neat place. Waynesboro is a steal at $158,000. I mean, come on. Right here at the base of the mountains where everyone knows your name? Way out along the rolling hillsides of eastern Washington is Pullman. It's where Washington State University is located. A bunch of entertainment, low crime, and a $222,000 home price is a no-brainer for anybody who wants to remain on the West Coast and wants to be part of a community too. And you're far away from Seattle. You'd be far away from everyone, actually. And that's not a bad thing in today's world. Money's no option when it comes to West Virginia. It's all going to be cheap. What matters are jobs and things to do. Just north of Morgantown is a smallish community called Cheat Lake, on the banks of Cheat Lake. Here are some of the best schools in the whole state, and nearby is a large public university, and in between are some of the worst roads you'll ever drive on. But it's West Virginia. It is what it is. Anywhere along a lake is going to be a good bet in Wisconsin. There's a Milwaukee suburb-ish place called Whitefish Bay that has a strong quality of life. Apparently, it's one of the safest communities in the whole country. A place where the community takes pride in having a unique character, people. And finally, we come to Wyoming, the state where you can drive all night long and maybe see 5 cars on the highway. The state capital of Cheyenne has 62,000 mostly friendly folks who would love to show you around town, as long as you don't bring your drama with you. They don't tolerate that crap around these parts. One of a dying breed. God bless them. Okay, so that was a rundown of the best cities in every single state. And as you saw, a lot of these places are not very big at all. In fact, some of them are under 10,000 people. That's just how it is in America these days. Sometimes the smaller the place, the better. Big cities aren't safe. They're not affordable and charming like they used to be. That's just kind of how it is. A lot of times in today's America, you got to get out there and find a safe community and a friendly smile and make your own life somewhere new. And these are the best places to do it. And now some really, really amazing singing. These are the places where you should go. The places where to go. The best cities to live in states if you don't like the drama. There's nothing in these places that'll make you hate life. These are the places where you should just go. We just saw the places where you could go. The types of places where you know the crime is low, it's really safe, but it's not too expensive. We're almost to the part where I start to hum. These are the places where you could just go. These are the places where we all should go. Well, not all of us. That would be weird.
You kind of get sick of ice cream.
No, never. What's your favorite kind of ice cream?
We make something called bunny tracks.
Bunny tracks. What's in that?
Peanuts and... Actually, can I get you to somebody that would...
No, that's
probably
fine. Is it pretty easy to tell who works at Blue Bunny? Because they're the people with ice cream stains on their shirts walking around town?
No.
Okay. Well, hey, thank you very much, sweetie. I appreciate it, okay?
Okay, bye.
Bye. Man, I tell you what, if I worked there, I would eat ice cream all day, people, all day. That's just me, though. Hey, guys, if you learned something new about America or what it's like to live in America, great. You should think about subscribing and turning on your notifications. You can also click one of these videos or playlists for more. You can also now buy my songs on iTunes and other formats. Click the link in the description. Thanks for watching. And remember, while we all might have different views, we should all be nice to each other and try to make the U.S. a better place in a positive way.
This is Sage, Nick's manager. This has been a Corner House Entertainment production.